Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another video with your boy Young Homie TC. So today we're reacting to a video titled "Somehow Invincible is Still Ugly." So we're gonna see what bro is yapping about, but hey, let's get it.
It's that time of year again.
I'm
Everybody's
sorry.
favorite hamburger shonen is back, and not much has changed. If you don't like Invincible, nothing here is going to change your
Damn.
mind. And if you like
It's
Invincible,
not bad. It actually just finished, but hey,
Well,
speaking
well,
about Invincible being done,
My fault for stopping and chat that ending.
that ending, I feel like we all understand that decision that Mark had to make, and it was a tough decision, but we would have all made that decision. Yes, me.
And you.
We would have all made that decision. And if you want to be that hard-headed person saying,
Nah, nigga, I would have gone out in a blaze of glory, man. And took out the entire, not the entire, but damn near 80% of the human race with you, bro.
okay, exactly. Let's get back to this, though.
thing I see every time Invincible comes back around is the discourse about the animation. And I feel like I talk about this every time I review a season of this show. No, Patrick, Invincible Season 1 didn't look better. It was just as janky, and it had a few good moments of animation. However, I do think things are a little different this season. Before, it was very clear they saved a lot of the budget for big episodes, like the first episode in the season, or big fights, like the Conquest one from last season. And here it feels a little different. It feels like every once in a while, the better animation gets thrown in periodically to keep things more consistent. There isn't like one episode or fight where the animation's really good. The good animation just gets used in places where you wouldn't expect it.
Thanks.
And I think I like this. I can't really tell right now. I think I need to see more of it, but I kind of like that most of the fights didn't look awful as a trade-off for having a really cool one at the end of the season. But I will say that while we don't...
The thing about Invincible, bro, is I don't care about how the animation looks when Mark is just yapping, bro. I don't care how the animation looks when people are just in the house talking or getting food, and then that's the stuff y'all complain about. Oh, he's just casually flying around the city doing his own thing, and the way his hair looks doesn't look correct to me. Like, bro, come on, bro. It's not that big of a deal, bro. It generally isn't. Only thing that needs to be properly animated are the fights. Talking between people, bro, that does not need to be like an anime, bro. Y'all trying to compare Invincible to an anime. Invincible is not an anime, bro. It's an animated adult TV show. It's not an anime, bro. Two different cultures, bro. Two different cultures. And I like anime. This comes from somebody who genuinely likes anime. I watch anime more than I watch anything like, well, not more than live action, but I watch it more than I watch most things.
Episodes that look as bad as that Mars episode from long ago, we do have a new stranger issue. We now have a plethora of animation errors in this season. Flying dragon JPEGs with no animation frames, Mark's face changing into paws in the middle of a fight, a Viltrumite getting blipped out of existence. I guess that's one way to get rid of the Viltrumites. You can just delete them from Adobe Premiere. Invincible has looked janky at times before, but it's never had problems this obvious. It really pulls you out when you're enjoying the show, and then something insane like this happens.
It really
on
doesn't,
one hand,
bro.
I kind of feel bad for the animators, but on the other hand, this is the most popular show ever. I'm sure if we could see the metrics, they would be absurd. Like, people really like Invincible. I know this series is making money. It doesn't need to look like this. A lot of people like to say, oh, they waste all their money on the celebrity voice actors, but that's not really how things work. That's not how these kind of things are made. There's not just one big pot of money and they just hand it all to voice actors. The real problem is that I don't think resources are being devoted to the animation side of the show. There's currently an unverified claim that there's only 4 people on the VFX and post-processing team. While I haven't seen actual proof that this is true, stuff like this sure makes it seem believable. I think that everybody can agree that if we had to sacrifice one celebrity voice in order to get one extra good-looking episode, then we would take it. But I don't think that's how things work, and it's not going to be like that, and complaining about it is kind of tiring, but it is very frustrating that this is such a popular show, and it's such a good show, but it could be so much better if it looked just as good as other popular shows. Most of the time.
Good though, but that's at the end of the day, people want to complain and stuff, but it's still good. We all still here watching it, bro.
It doesn't look awful, but there's no reason why it can't look really good. I think a lot of my favorite moments in this show as a whole are when there's no dialogue and it's just showing us a montage of something happening. I think about Omni-Man's little odyssey from a few seasons ago, or in this season, the one that we get in the finale was really good, even though it turned out to just be a dream sequence. Every once in a while, the show does remind us that it has some sauce, and it reminds me why I even like watching it in the first place. But anyway, that's my yearly Invincible animation critique. The show will probably always look mid, even if it's one of the most popular shows on TV. I don't like it any more than you do, but at least the story usually carries things.
The story
and I'm happy to say that for the most part, the writing in this season is actually really good. I feel like every season kind of has that one standout character. Before, it's been Debbie or Rex. And this time, I think this is definitely Nolan's show.
I think it was Alan.
Omni-Man gets a lot of screen time.
No, Alan was last season. Alan was last season.
Anymore. His character development is on another level now, and we get a lot of flashbacks to show us why he turned out the way he did. I really like having a character that's on this unending quest for penance. Someone who's done unforgivable things and has people in their life that they can never fully win back. He's definitely the standout character this season, and his conversation with Debbie is one of the best scenes in the entire show. J.K. Simmons and Sandra Oh always flex on the rest of the cast.
I forgot what his name is, Art or whatever. Beautiful, bro. And then when he goes away, that nigga starts trembling, bro. I was like, oh my days, bro. They cooked with this one, bro.
No different here. And I also think the world building overall is a lot better in this season. We spend a lot less time on Earth, and I think I can officially say I like this universe a lot better when we see what's happening in space.
Real.
A lot of time is spent on fleshing out the Viltrumites, and it's very interesting that unspeakable actions kind of make sense when you see their culture and what their people have to go through. It is leagues more interesting than watching Mark decide if he should go to college. However, the show still does lose a lot of steam whenever Mark does go back to Eve and has his hourly I'm really sad conversation. There has to be a better way to write moments like these. I feel like, yeah, it is realistic to have these characters talk about the fact that they're depressed, but it's presented in the same way every single time for multiple seasons now. I feel like I've watched this exact scene 7 times over the course of the show. Thankfully, it is much less frequent in this season, but it was a complaint that I had last season, and it's still happening.
And it's still
Mark, I get that you're sad,
bro.
man, but can you process it in a slightly different way? Oh, I forgot. They do have him process his stress in the Hell episode, which is honestly probably the worst episode of the show.
No,
a lot of people complained about it when it came out.
I did not hate the Hell episode. I'm like, I don't know why y'all hated it so much. It was not that bad, bro. It generally was not that bad.
I think they were absolutely right. This episode derails the main story completely. It introduces annoying, flat characters who just quip at each other.
If you watch anime, you would have understood this was just a filler episode. There's nothing wrong with one filler episode, bro. One, bro? Y'all tweaked about one filler episode? That's crazy.
Info dump. Most of the dialogue is just bad jokes. It's an hour long for some reason when it really doesn't have to be, and it takes the most.
Honestly, if they wanted to do filler, they could have did half of the episode filler, then half of it go back to Mark back in the real world, and then it resumes with what they had to do. I do understand that part, that it was dragged out. We did not need a whole hour of this. Maybe give us half the episode of this, and then half the episode back to worthy stuff.
Subtle approach to teaching Mark about good and evil. We either have Mark going to Eve every episode and saying, I'm really sad because I have to kill people, or he has a demon in hell directly telling him, Mark, sometimes evil people aren't so bad. It's so ham-fisted. I can confidently say this is the worst episode of the entire show so far. Thankfully, I've not seen an episode yet that made me think that until now, but it was pretty miserable to sit through. It is the first time I've ever felt the desire to skip an episode of this show. It's a good thing that the story immediately gets really good right after this. I feel like a lot of the time Invincible has to take some time to build up to the interesting moments, but this season does have a lot less filler and way more
I was about to say,
killer.
bro, like,
because people get
the
killed
next
in this
seasons,
show.
bro,
The Viltrumite War is something that's been built up to since season 1, and
So
it's
I don't know why
satisfying to
they
see
all
how
mad,
things
bro,
are unfolding. A lot of the time, big, major events get kind of glossed over in Invincible, and this time around, the big war actually feels pretty impactful.
Real.
I was thoroughly engaged the entire time. And for the first time, I think we have a fight that's actually pretty good. I've complained about the fact that fights in Invincible are usually just action figures slamming into one another, but this time I feel like there's an action scene that uses that concept pretty well. 2 unstoppable forces just colliding until one of them gives up.
Really?
Most of the time, discussion about this show online is just people whining that the animation isn't as good as Jujutsu Kaisen, and it's easy to forget that this show does kind of rock when it wants to. And for once, I think the story has left things off in a spot narratively where I honestly have no idea where they're going to go next season. And from what I've heard, things are about to change quite a bit. I've said a few times before that I intend to read the comic before the show ends, and I think this is a pretty good place to pick it back up. So hopefully, this time next year, I'll hop into this show with a little more insight. Maybe a video comparing the show and the comic might be in order one day. But for now, Invincible has another pretty decent season. I think overall the quality is more balanced, even if the problems I have are ones that I've kind of had this whole time, and it's becoming kind of annoying that they're still around. But either way, I'm going to go ahead and give Invincible Season 4 a 7.5 out of 10.
I low-key agree with that, bro. Chat, if y'all liked Invincible, then double tap the screen Show some love. If you did not like Invincible, then double tap the screen, show some love. If you like this video, then double tap the screen, show some love. If you did not like the video, double tap the screen, show some love. Anyway, as always, keep God in your life, little niggas. Safety.